These are the best jump shots for every single height in NBA 2K25. Now for my 5'9" to 6'4" players, guys, you have a lot of options to choose from. But first, I want to show you guys a jump shot that I am rocking with because people keep asking me, yo, Choc, what is the updated jumper? So the jumper that I am currently using is Cam Thomas and Oscar Robertson. I have no blend on my uppers. Now, a lot of you guys are going to be like, yo, why do you not blend your uppers? I don't really see the point. I think when you blend your uppers, it gives a weird looking hitch sometimes. And for some of you guys, that'll be good for your release cue. But for me specifically, I don't like it. But again, some of you guys might not like Cam Thomas. What I would recommend is that you guys learn Cam Thomas because it is currently the meta in terms of what is the best jump shot. But let me give you guys some other options because there are several different options that you guys can choose from if you don't like Cam Thomas. I will just say though, it took me a minute with Cam Thomas. I am glad I stuck and found it, okay? So look, you guys can use Stephen Curry's base. Now, Curry's base is a little weird looking this year, and I don't like it in comparison to previous years. I think they had mocapped his jumper perfectly in years past, and I look at his jumper now, and to me, when I see this shot, it just does not resemble Stephen Curry to me, but it has a very good timing stability. It is relatively easy to time. I played a few games on it, and it was something that I looked at it like, okay, it's not bad, but I just look at the old Curry and it just kind of throws me off. So you could use that. Again, I would recommend Cam Thomas over that personally. You can also use Kyrie Irving. Now, Kyrie Irving is the second most meta jump shot, okay? A lot of players are choosing Kyrie Irving over Cam Thomas. It's just a little bit easier to green. It has a little bit more of an obvious release cue. So if you guys are not somebody that rocks with Cam Thomas, I would recommend trying out Kyrie Irving. And if you're not rocking with either of those, I would recommend Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson is quite literally Tracy McGrady. It is the same exact timing as D-Mac, except it is for 6'6" and under players. It was the same thing last year, and it is the same thing this year. So if you guys are somebody that is just a big fan of T-Mac's jump shot, if you guys are transitioning from a 6'6" build to a 6'4" or under build, I would recommend putting Allen Iverson on. The good part about these guards is there are a million things to choose from. There's one more jump shot that I do want to show you guys, and it is Sam Merrill, okay? Sam Merrill was found by grinding. It is really ugly looking. I'm not a fan of the way it looks, and it is a little bit slower, but it is very, 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 very easy to green. If you guys are somebody that is looking for a little bit of a slower jump shot because the other ones are just simply too quick, I would recommend you guys to try out Sam Merrill because it seems to have a very steady and consistent green window in terms of like just your catch and shoots and off the dribbles. But those bases that I just showed you are the main bases that you guys should use. And then in terms of the uppers, guys, like I said, I use pure Oscar, but you can use, Oscar mixed with Steph, or Oscar mixed with Kyrie, Oscar mixed with Steve Kerr. There's really, again, no wrong answers in terms of what you're using for the uppers. I think a lot of people put too much weight into the uppers. I think the base is arguably significantly more important than the upper is. Now, for my power forwards out there, okay, you guys are in a lot better of a spot than the centers are because the centers have a lot less options to choose from. But for my power forwards, there are several good bases that you guys can use. As you guys can see, Jalen Tyson is the base that I was using on my 6'6". So on the sharp build that I have, the 3-and-D 6'6", I've been using Jalen Tyson base. To me, it is very similar to Patrick Mills, except the difference is you are getting this on a 6'6". So look, for this shot specifically right here, I am using very quick. Now, for the release timing, I always keep it on push, but that doesn't matter. You guys are going to pick the release timing that works for you, but I am using Saddiq Bey and Charles Bassey. You cannot go wrong with those. You can either do Saddiq on 55 or Charles Bassey on 55. It is totally a preference thing, but this is good for the people out there that have a low midi and low 3, because look, all you need is a 78 to meet the requirement. So that is jump shot number 1. For the second jump shot, like I said, I got you. I'm gonna bless y'all with all the shots. For the second jump shot, we got Jarrett Culver. Now, Jarrett Culver is very similar to Tracy McGrady. In fact, it is quite literally the same shot. So for those of you guys who like Tracy McGrady, have no fear. You don't have to wait to unlock it. You can put Jarrett Culver on because it is a Tracy McGrady clone. For the uppers, you can use Charles Bassey, you can use Troy Brown, as you guys saw in the last one. You can also use Saddiq Bey. I prefer to mix Saddiq Bey and Troy Brown, but it is totally a preference thing, guys. One thing about the uppers is you just need to find an upper that works for you. I can tell you guys, yo, use this upper, use that upper. At the end of the day, an upper is only gonna be as good as you are. So if you guys are not finding the release cue with one of these uppers, if you played maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 games and you're still struggling, I would recommend you guys to switch it up a little bit. And again, sometimes you don't even need to switch the shot. Like let's say you're always getting slightly lates. maybe speed your shot up a little bit. If you're always getting slightly early, maybe slow it down a little bit. You know what I mean? Just find a balance and go from there. But yeah, those are the main two jump shots I would use. I would use Jalen Tyson, or I would use Jarrett Culver for the base. Again, the uppers you guys can play around with. Use my uppers, don't use my uppers. Uppers is more of a preference thing, but those are the two meta bases for my 6'6" to 6'8" builds. Use that upper. At the end of the day, an upper is only gonna be as good as you are. So if you guys are not finding the release cue with one of these uppers, if you played maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 games and you're still struggling, I would recommend you guys to switch it up a little bit. And again, sometimes you don't even need to switch the shot. Like let's say you're always getting slightly late, maybe speed your shot up a little bit. If you're always getting slightly early, maybe slow it down a little bit. You know what I mean? Just find a balance and go from there. Another base that I think that you guys would really like for my 6'6" to 6'8" players out there is Ray Allen. Now you have to at least have your mid-range or your 3-point shot at 80, but it is very consistent, guys. Ray Allen is one of the more consistent bases. I will say that if you guys have struggled with any of the other two bases that I was talking about, I would recommend that you guys give that a try because it is very, very, very consistent. And as you guys can see in the jumper itself, he gets off the ground really well, and it is super easy to time. So if you didn't like either the other two jump shots that I showed you guys, I'd recommend you guys putting on Ray Allen and giving that a shot. All right, so last but not least, let's talk center jump shots. So look, I'm gonna show you guys a few different jump shots that you can use, and then I'm gonna give you guys different bases that you can use if you don't like any of these shots. So look, the uppers are gonna be a preference thing, okay? Obviously, these are the uppers that I'm rocking, but these might not be the uppers that you guys like. So look, the first jump shot is Jonathan Isaac, okay? Jonathan Isaac is an extremely good base in this game, and it's what most poppers, centers, and bigger builds are using. It's very quick. It has a very easy to find green window, and I don't think you guys will struggle at all with it. When it comes to the Q, you guys know me, I am always using push on max speed, but for the blend on this, you guys are gonna go ahead and go with 65-35. You can do 65-35 either way. You can either do 65 Bassy or 65 Dirk. I prefer the 65 Bassy. I just think it makes the jump shot a little bit easier to time. But as you guys can see, you have an A+ height and an A+ release speed. It is one of the best popper jump shots in the game, and I recommend you guys to give it a try. Now, another center jump shot that I think you guys will like. This is actually what the big man for Black Market is using, okay? If you guys have watched any of Hoff's gameplay, this is a jump shot that he started off the year with, and I can be honest with you guys, he was absolutely sparking at the beginning of the year. Now, he's been changing his shot around a lot, but to me, he had the most success with this shot right here, okay? This is the Dwight Powell's base. Obviously, again, the uppers become a preference thing, but I want to give you guys the uppers that I've been looking at and I can recommend that are good. Chris Bosh 1, and then Dirk Nowitzki 2. The blend is going to be 63-37, okay? So it is going to be, again, max speed. I recommend that you guys do all of your jumpers max speed. Now, if you guys already watched my other jump shot video, you guys know about this base I'm going to show you guys right here. It is the fastest base in the game. This Eves Missy, I have no clue who this kid is. I don't even know if this is a real person. It probably is because he's in the game, but he has the fastest base in the game. So if you guys are just looking for a jump shot that is pure speed, this is the one for you. Another good jump shot, believe it or not, because you would never look at this guy and say, yeah, he's a good shooter, is Andre Drummond, okay? Andre Drummond also has a very easy to find release cue. So does Tim Duncan. There's just, honestly guys, you're gonna have to look around, and any NBA players that you look at and you say, yo, these guys were decent shooters in real life, they're probably going to have a usable base. At the end of the day, Evan Mobley has a good base. Like, center jump shots are kind of ugly, guys. You guys are going to struggle a little bit in terms of finding a jump shot that is the speed that you're looking for, just because on a 7-footer, which is what most of these jump shots are, these are the 6'10 plus builds, they're going to naturally be slower. If they're too slow for you and you guys are like, yo, I want something quicker, I would recommend you guys to make your build either 6'8" or 6'7", because it's going to open a different threshold of jump shots that you guys can use. But like I said before, these are the jumpers that I would recommend for anybody that is on a bigger type build like this. If you guys are using any of these bases that I've highlighted so far, you guys are going to have a lot of success, and you guys are going to have an edge up on all of your opponents. Like, center jump shots are kind of ugly, guys. You guys are going to struggle a little bit in terms of finding a jump shot that is the speed that you're looking for, just because on a 7-footer, which is what most of these jump shots are, these are the 6'10 plus builds, they're going to naturally be slower. If they're too slow for you and you guys are like, yo, I want something quicker, I would recommend you guys to make your build either 6'8" or 6'7", because it's going to open a different threshold of jump shots that you guys can use. But like I said before, these are the jumpers that I would recommend for anybody that is on a bigger type build like this. If you guys are using any of these bases that I've highlighted so far, you guys are going to have a lot of success, and you guys are going to have an edge up on all of your opponents.
By the way, this is Choc's editor. He didn't feel like doing an outro, so make sure you guys like down below and also subscribe because we're posting banger videos every single day. So, yeah.